building up also there some coaching structure in Japan.
These two have met 6 times. Wang Hao leads 4-2, and as you saw there, interesting statistic, the last time they met at the Asian Games, it was Wang Hao who won 4-0. So the form book would suggest, and indeed the ranking would suggest, that Wang Hao's a favourite. Do you think Yu MIZUTANI has a chance, Richard?
I mean, altogether, of course, if you're in the quarterfinal, you will go for the chance. But from the whole system, usually I think Wang Hao gets too much time from Jun MIZUTANI. MIZUTANI has to stay close to the table, has to use a little bit more service and attack from first ball whenever he has the chance, and has to avoid going back, because there Wang Hao will be much stronger.
So it's the best of 7 games, as always. And it's Wang Hao of China to serve at the start of the first game. Not a lot of spin on the serve. MIZUTANI came underneath it. Ball lifted slightly. That was a fairly straightforward topspin for Wang Hao.
And see how good Wang Hao steps inside the ball.
The reverse backhand topspin there, tried to play it down the line. It just caught the top of the net, flicked it off the end of the table. 1 point each. MIZUTANI now with his 2 serves. MIZUTANI likes to play the forehand from the backhand side of the table. That one down the line, just going off the end. Net serve. It's another interesting thing I've noticed, Rich, and you've obviously been intimately involved at the highest level in recent years and seen the sport develop. But a lot of players now coming across to return the short serve on the forehand with the backhand.
Yeah. It's like we saw that yesterday in doubles very often. We saw in the morning in the doubles there. It's a little bit easier to come close to the table, above the table with his backhand. It's a little bit easier to use the wrist in that way to accelerate the ball. So many players are using that. Actually, to my point of view, it's not a Chinese technique. The Czech players quite some years ago started that, and the Chinese player took that over in like late 90s, beginning of 2000. And meanwhile, everybody is doing it. Not only the Chinese now, also we saw yesterday at Dmitry Ovtcharov using the same technique.
Yeah, very interesting. Wang Hao now leads 4-2. MIZUTANI has his 2 serves to come. Strong with that forehand topspin from the backhand side of the table. You'll probably see Wang Hao flick a few down the line there, get out to MIZUTANI's forehand. MIZUTANI there anticipating the ball coming down the backhand, step round, strong forehand.
That's usually still one of the weaker points of MIZUTANI when he has to play backhand. He cannot put that much pressure, so he has to turn around, especially after his service.
Again, MIZUTANI backing away from the table. Totally agree, Richard. The only chance he has, he's got to stay up there, try and get in with the first strong topspin, put pressure on Wang Hao. Indeed, force Wang Hao away from the table.
This is to see, like, he has to stay close to the table, but this being more aggressive starts with return. Return is too soft. He doesn't put pressure in the ball and giving Wang Hao the chance to attack directly with forehand.
An error there from Wang Hao. And of course, MIZUTANI can't rely on errors from Wang Hao because he ain't going to make too many, so to speak. Got to force him to make the errors, get him under pressure.
But you see, whenever at this moment MIZUTANI uses the backhand, Wang Hao has a chance to follow after. He missed before, now he switched sides very well, and that's the thing when MIZUTANI getting more and more passive. He has to risk a little bit more with the backhand whenever he has a chance. Go for the ball, go for backhand topspin, not only for blocking.
looks good, Richard. MIZUTANI away from the table, playing long balls, but he's not going to win many points when he's away from the table in that position.
I mean, we're sitting quite outside the court. It's quite easy to say, but you are more than right. He has to play more aggressive, and like this, Wang Hao won't be in much trouble.
A little bit better from MIZUTANI. He stayed close. He played some strong top spins. The forehand into the body of Wang Hao was the winner.
And turning around whenever he had the chance there again.
The classic example of the return of the short serve there. Wang Hao came across, working his wrist, returned it with the backhand, takes the point and now has 5 game points. And there it is at the first time of asking. 11 points to 5. Wang Hao takes the first game. And certainly what was clear there, Richard, was that MIZUTANI was too passive.
Yeah.
Passive on the return of serve, didn't get in behind his own serve.
I mean, definitely. He usually is a player where, with a very good control of the ball, he prefers for long rallies, but his opening of the game and his first block is quite passive. So, especially when you play against a Chinese player, the first ball has to be more aggressive, and especially the return already. You see? Now, also in the slow motion, gives Wang Hao quite some time to open the game, and there MIZUTANI just can catch the ball, a little bit like fishing, we say. And always the ball is coming out very, very high from MIZUTANI, and you see more direction straight out of the racket of Wang Hao. And in this position, it's good for spectators, but not for winning the points from MIZUTANI's side.
It's a wonderful rally.
Yep.
But there was only going to be one winner. 9 times out of 10, you back Wang Hao in that situation. He'll make the occasional error, but winning 1 point down to 10, I'm afraid he's not good enough. So let's see if MIZUTANI throws caution to the wind a little bit, goes for his shots, stays close to the table. He has the service at the beginning of this second game. Just go at the top of the net. Let's serve.
Brilliant. Very good.
MIZUTANI didn't do a lot wrong there. He made a good top spin down the line. But Wang Hao straight across. What a wonderful block. He actually managed to get some side spin on the ball as well to take it into the barriers. Wonderful play. Not the start that young MIZUTANI wanted.
I think he already, also after his service, not feeling safe. Like he's afraid, like which way Wang Hao is flipping the ball. Should he turn around? Should he stay with backhand? Very good. What to do? Like he came from Wang Hao from being passive to being active, and again with his reverse backhand topspin, it's really, you mentioned before, really a weapon, maybe the strongest weapon Wang Hao has.
I was fascinated to watch the round before when Wang Hao played against Ru Sung-min, and of course I think the biggest blow possibly in Wang's career was when he lost in 2004 in the final of the Olympics, and I think that was a bit of a psychological barrier when he played Ru Sung-min. He was 3-2 down and could have gone out. He came back and won 4-3, but watching him now, he's a different player than he was in the game against Ru Sung-min.
We had the Chinese also like coming back a little bit. Ma Long against Bojan Tokic was also losing 2 games there. Wang Hao a little bit this very close match against Ru Sung-min, but if they get through, then they really survived some crisis. Maybe same like Timo Boll did against Dmitry Ovtcharov yesterday, because he also, Dmitry forced him to come to the 5th games after being like 2-2 down, and then Dmitry lost this game 11-0.
I was watching that game with interest. I thought we might have a diplomatic point at 10-0, but it wasn't to be. Timo clearly fired up, and we're all looking forward to watching Timo Boll later on in the quarter-final, the last European player. He'll be playing against Chen Chi. And just to get you excited, the record is 5 wins each, so a great match to look forward to, as indeed all the quarterfinals will be. This is familiar. Mizutani away from the table. Wang Hao will just keep working him. Very clever as well, watching carefully. As soon as Mizutani committed himself to run round the backhand, we see here Mizutani's only chance now is to run round and try and get him with a strong forehand. He runs round.
Exactly.
Wang Hao spots it straight down the line.
Very, very good. And Wang Hao really kept also in mind, like he has to play from time to time to deep forehand, especially when Mizutani turns around.
Here we go again. And this is exactly what we predicted Mizutani would do. He'd drop away from the table. It would look good for the spectators. Everyone's enjoying it, except the Japanese supporters.
Yeah.
Mizutani didn't do bad there. He got in with a strong topspin behind the serve, but
I mean, he's really trying. He's trying to turn him around. He's trying to play the first ball aggressive, but Wang Hao is always there. So I think what Mizutani could do is a little bit try to change the direction of the first attack. Try to hit a little bit more the middle of Wang Hao, not only the corners, not only deep forehand or deep backhand, because Wang Hao is really too winged. He's ready for that. At this moment, it's a little bit too much from forehand cross, from backhand cross, and Wang Hao is waiting there.
In the round of last 16, Yun Mizutani beat Adrien Matanet from France. But obviously, Wang Hao, a different kettle of fish. Wang Hao leads 7-4, second game, having won the first game 11-5.
You see now it was twice, attacking a little bit more middle of Wang Hao, gives Mizutani a bit more time to really get a little bit closer to the table. You see there, Wang Hao had to go to the side. Mizutani stayed a bit closer, tried to come to first counter topspin. So maybe that should be the way at this moment.
Only 21, Mizutani. I think the tactics were right. He was looking to get in behind the serve. Not sure where he was trying to play it, but you're right, Richard. He is trying to play into the body a little bit more. But again, it's that backhand side spin, top spin coming back. It's
so difficult to really judge. And you see the ball kept low so much. It was not only top spin, it was this so much side spin inside.
Wang Hao now with his two serves leads 8-6. Return, didn't read the spin, came underneath the ball, lifted what he thought was backspin. There was no backspin on the ball. Here we see it, pops up in the air. And Wang Hao, that's a bread and butter shot. But it's interesting to see where Wang Hao placed it right into the body.
Exactly.
Gave Yun Mizutani no chance. And so the score 9-6.
See, this is one of the strengths of Wang Hao. Wang Hao can turn around, but he doesn't have to turn around because the backhand is really so strong, so powerful, so difficult for Mizutani to control that topspin.
4 game points now for Wang Hao.
Second time he did that service, like half long in backhand side. Surprised Wang Hao a bit.
Super shot straight down the line from Wang Hao. He knows that Mizutani's always looking to get round, play the forehand from the backhand side. He's sending a few balls out wide to the forehand. So Wang Hao tactically playing superbly and now leads by 2-0. Best of 7, so half the job done. It's going to be really tough, I think, Richard, for Mizutani to get back into this now.
Really tough. I mean, like, he has to try a little more first ball, sometimes with backhand, also to come with topspin.